Module 5, Curriculum. Teachers will have 5 paid work days at the beginning of the school year to get a huge jump start on planning and preparing materials. Additionally, we will have monthly work days that are paid to be used for planning and preparation. We cannot pay staff for any additional planning time, and we encourage all of our teachers to use the materials that are already prepped for you in the resource area in our library. Our philosophy is that we are familiar with and intentional about implementing the goals of our curriculum. So the curriculum supports a daily posted schedule that incorporates a variety of activities for the children. Only developmentally appropriate materials and activities are used. We don't do anything in a twos class that's meant to be for a pre-K class. We don't use coloring sheets or worksheets of any type. We use process-centered art techniques only. An exception to this would be our gallery night that we do in the spring, and we will have a product centered piece for the kids for that gallery night, but our other art activities should be process, letting them be introduced to different types of paints and finger paints, watercolors, easel painting, tabletop painting, just a different exposure to processes versus worrying about whether they're painting a perfect apple tree, for example. Teachers will maintain and post well-formulated lesson plans each week. And that includes showing how these activities relate to the standards that you're given for the age group. There needs to be specific intentional small group work, themes if applicable. And, don't be hung up on dramatic play and lesson themes do not have to be one and the same. So that's a misconception. A lot of our themes just naturally align with a dramatic play correlation, but that's not required. So these lesson plans need to be submitted to me weekly. And, last year we were just trying to get through with COVID, but, this is really important for us to take our program to the next level. And this will be a requirement this year. And I'll expect that every lead teacher turns these lesson plans in. We want to see a cooperative team approach. It'll be necessary for us to share materials, and, we don't have enough Apple dramatic play stations for 6 classes to be having an Apple stand at the exact same time. So there will be some coordination and some rotation for materials. Again, we insist upon process-based learning, and we do not do any type of copied worksheets or coloring sheets. Lesson plans can be created and shared in ProCare. You don't have to do this, but it's there if you want to use it. You will need to look at the lesson plans in ProCare for all of our Faith Stories curriculum. And I have actually uploaded a lot of wonderful lessons that you can use. All of the details are in there, but this is where you'll find all of your faith stories that are required of every class every week. We will go over how to use these and how to find these in ProCare in a later module. So again, the themes and the monthly scriptures are detailed in the Trello board that will be shared with you. The monthly scriptures are just, we don't need to deviate from those. If you have a new theme that you are interested in introducing to your class, please talk to me about it, and we'll see if we can add it to what we already have prepared. We have many more themes than we have time to teach already prepared. Our faith-based activities are integral to what we do. We are intentional about teaching Bible stories through our sacred circle time that leads into our faith lessons, but also through our weekly chapel and the monthly verse that you all are going to be teaching the children, that memorization verse. Prayers and blessings are just part of the day. I don't ever want to see a group starting their snack without having first said their blessing. Having a prayer at your morning meeting and then at your closing of the day is just, part of what we do. We want to emphasize the concept that Jesus loves us and that we love one another. And this language is used throughout the day in your conversations with the children. We are so blessed to have the resource area that we have in the library in room 228 on the East Lighthouse hallway. We have a very well stocked curriculum resource area, lesson theme boxes. These are mainly appropriate for the 3s and the pre-K. The 2s are going to have their own set of curriculum. And then the toddlers, Sabrina and Jesse have already developed a wonderful plan for our toddlers. But most of the materials in those bins are master copies. And then we have really invested time and effort this summer to making multiple sets of the good core curriculum to help you teachers. The things have already been laminated and organized. We've had a team of parent volunteers coming in throughout the summer. Books that coordinate with those themes are kept with their themes. And then any other book that you're looking for, we actually use an app that I can share more information with you. I want you to be sure that you're using the books on CD and the big books that are found in that area. And then remember, return the items exactly back where you found them as soon as you're finished. If you're using a teacher book, just put it back at the end of that day so that another teacher can use it. Our supply room. This is really where a place that our team effort comes in. And we have an extremely well-stocked supply room, and we expect everyone to be good stewards of these supplies. If there is something that you are looking for that you can't find, please ask. Chances are we have it. You can just send me a message in ProCare. If we are low on a material, send me a message in ProCare. remember, our policy is that you only take from that room what you are going to use for a specific project. And then when you're finished, if you have any left, put it back. We are not going to have a stockpile of construction paper and other stuff in each classroom. That is really inefficient for us being good stewards of what we have. Assessments are done for threes and pre-K students, and we use a very specific assessment toolkit. You are given the dates that these need to be finished. Lead teachers will be doing most of these, but I will trust that the teaching teams will make this work. And the assessments have a specific protocol about what communication needs to be given and when. Michelle Chestnut is going to offer a workshop on the Wednesday of our work week for the 3 and pre-K lead teachers to review how to do these progress assessments and to make sure that everybody's toolkits have all the materials needed. It's just time to refresh those in case anything's gotten taken out of them. If a child needs further screening, we have a whole procedure about how to do that. So I want you to be familiar about what our policy is. And, occasionally in the choose classes, we will begin to notice something. Well, that's where we would record data, take notes, times, places, what the specifics are. That's not the time that we would even have a discussion. But then towards the end of that year or when a child turns 3, that's when we can go a bit further if needed. But there is definitely a protocol that we follow to recommend or reference professional screening. So just please be familiar with what our policy is and let me help you there. So our philosophy is that it's the teacher's job to continually redirect children who need it. Positively reinforcing good behavior, ignoring the little things. We just don't want to make a big deal about every little behavior. You need to know what's appropriate for the age group that you work with. We have a very specific protocol to teach the rules and expectations of every class. Our philosophy is that what happens at preschool stays at preschool. Every 15 minutes is a new day in the life of a preschooler. Consequences are meaningless at this point. Children just, the age that we work with, just don't have the concept to know what a consequence is. Yes, when they get into pre-K, we will be working on that, but they are still children and they are learning through play and they don't know. We are teaching them how to be part of a group and to be in an environment with lots of other little people. So, yes, if there is a specific problem or an issue, I am here to support you, but I want to just encourage you to embrace these kids and help guide them through this time. Yes, we want to be fun. be firm, but not be stern. There is no place for sternness in our program. We are, this last picture here just really bothers me. I hope I never see that in our program. We use positive discipline to teach children right from wrong, and which behaviors are acceptable and which are not, and how to respect others. Discipline is not punishment. It's teaching done positively and with respect. And it's appropriate to the situation and the age of the child. I have found through many, many years of working with children, it's usually the teacher who needs a break and a timeout. We don't do timeout at Harbor Preschool, but if a teacher feels that they need to step away and take a breather, you message me or open your door and just say, I need you, or I need Leslie, and just take a deep breath. Flexibility is required. The teachers must change activities or routines according to the needs and the interests of the children. And you've got to acknowledge that that is just part of the process that you're doing. So listening carefully and encouraging children to talk to you and explain to you what they're feeling, acknowledging their feelings, developing an environment that's nurturing and trusting. Yes, we have rules and guidelines, but we want them to feel like our classrooms and our preschool are their places. It's where God has meant for them to be at this time. Our classrooms have calm down caddies, which are just collections of sensory items that need to be accessible to children when they need something to refocus. You will introduce a calm down caddy before it's ever needed. Children should be shown the calm down caddy, shown what's in there, given examples about when they might need it. And then it needs to be on a shelf that they can get to. That's what you want. You want them to recognize that they're having a moment and that they might benefit from something in that calm down caddy. It's used in the 3s in pre-K, but there might be some items in it that are appropriate for the 2s, like the sensory bottles or books. But I never want to see a teacher taking that basket and saying, here, you need the calm down caddy. That is not what it's for. It's a tool that children are given in the classroom. It's one of many tools that is available for them. And again, it's just like learning to write a letter. It's learning to use that tool and to help them through whatever frustration they're feeling. We are designed to be inclusive of all children, regardless of race, religion, creed, culture, ethnicity, and children with identified disabilities and special learning and developmental needs. Well, a parent is not going to, if a child has severe developmental needs, there are better places for that child in our community than Harbor Preschool. But we absolutely have children with identified special learning and developmental needs, and we are going to do what we need to do to help that child have a successful time at Harbor. So, parents know what we're able to offer, and we just will absolutely do our very best. Snack, this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here, but what our policy is there. Oops, this slide should have been deleted, so forgive me. Okay, our extracurricular, this is just the where, the times, the when, and there will be some others added to this later. So this one will be updated as well. Okay, so our parent communication, we have talked about this over and over again. Again, we don't know what this school year will look like as far as parents being able to come into the building. That's why it is super important that we communicate regularly using the ProCare app. I still want you to use the whiteboards. They're a great visual, and for you to snap a picture of your beautiful, accurate whiteboard, and then include that in your newsletter or your parent communications. We do not allowed to send any kind of daily reports. And again, I mentioned this earlier, we will not need daily communications after that initial transition days or weeks at the beginning of the school year. Your weekly newsletter will take care of that. Or if your class only meets a couple times a week, you may do a newsletter every other week. So remember, what happens at preschool stays at preschool. And if the teachers feel the need to communicate with the parents about a behavior, I want you to talk to me first. We're going to let the little things go. We are not going to nitpick behaviors, and just going to help our children learn how to be part of a group. Again, I've said this before, we do not have discussions with parents at drop-off or pickup other than a brief good morning or have a great afternoon. Not appropriate, not professional. Parents will try to engage you, but I expect you all not to go there. Okay, not going to spend a lot of time on this. You can read this and more details in our Trello board. The classroom setups, again, very specific, not a lot of flexibility here just due to the space and the shelving that we have. So all of the details of this are laid out on that Trello board. We have actually spent a lot of time in the classrooms over the summer and have the major areas already set. Leslie has done a tremendous job with our specials schedule. And again, we are not going to request that anything be changed. You're just going to work your schedule around what we have already put in place. And remember that we have a lot of children, a lot of classes, a lot of moving pieces, and we all need to be supportive and flexible. Details of this will be shared in the Trello board. Okay, this is self-explanatory here, our procedure for printing, copying, lamination. Okay, developmental skills. I expect that each class, each set of teachers will be familiar, know, learn, continue to learn what developmental skills mean for the age group that you work with. Don't ever feel the pressure if we only have really a few students who come 2 days a week, and then quite a few more who come 3 days a week, but they are not going to have the same experience as a student who attends 5 days a week. So we will prioritize what those children experience. And it's right here: fine motor, math and reading readiness, social and faith. The twos classrooms are loud, chaotic, and full of fun play. They are moving all around. That is what is developmentally appropriate for them. Threes are a little more organized, but not much, and still a lot of activity. There is a lot of progress from the beginning of a threes year till the end, but don't set yourself up for disappointment. These kids, many have never been to preschool before. They've never been into any kind of formal setting that they're expected to sit on a carpet and listen to a story. So, just be aware of that and understand what's developmentally appropriate and what they're able to accomplish. The pre-K classrooms are a bit more structured. Yes, we are going to have students who have never been to pre-K before and been in any kind of program. So again, very important to make sure that they're given clear expectations, and you'll get a lot more information on the Trello board. We have been doing this for a number of years, and I am very much stressing and requiring that the first several weeks of preschool, and it may take more, that teachers their time is spent teaching the children everything about Harbor Preschool, all the routines, how to use the materials, what every center, how you put the blocks back on the shelf, how you play with the doll babies in the dramatic play area, where the food goes on the shelf. It is tedious. It is not fun for the teachers, but it will pay off in the end. And this is not an option. This is a requirement for all teachers to do this at the beginning of the school year. And it's repeat, show them, do it again, model it for them, get a child who's mastered that procedure to model it for their classmates, praise, high five, move on, and then revisit it. But it's well worth it in the end. Okay, I love this. So on the first day of school, what parents really want, they want their child to have a safe and happy day. They want their children to want to come back to school, and they want to know that you like them and their child. So, that's really important with our faces, with our getting down, with our learning their names, learning about their families. But, this is a big deal for many of our families. Okay, these are our policies on class celebrations, and we will communicate this to our parents. Again, we are going to keep parties minimal, and I ask that you do not plan anything or communicate anything without getting approval from me first. We just don't have enough time in our day to celebrate every holiday that comes along, but we absolutely want to make a big deal about our children's birthdays and new siblings and things of that nature. So these modules will be updated, and these policies and procedures are fluid. Again, we don't know what this school year will bring with with COVID protocols, but all of the details that you need to be a successful teacher, staff member at Harbor Preschool are included here, and further details on the Trello board that will be shared with you. I know I've forgotten many things, and I'll try to cover the forgotten things at a later point. But thank you so much for completing these modules and assessments.